Europe is a continent rich in history, culture, natural beauty, and remarkable architecture. From the sun-soaked Mediterranean coastlines to the soaring Alpine peaks, captivating capitals to charming villages, Europe has something to offer every type of traveller. In this video, we're counting down the 25 best countries to visit for an unforgettable European vacation. We'll be looking at those destinations that should be on your bucket list. Before we start today, if you want to see more destination content, please subscribe. And if you watch this video and enjoy it, please hit the like button. Number 1. Italy. From its world-famous art and culture to its legendary cuisine and wine, spellbinding natural landscapes, and an endless parade of historical sites, Italy truly has it all. Start your Italian adventure in captivating cities like Rome, Florence, and Venice that seem to sit on foundations of antiquity. In Rome, stand in awe under the towering arches of the Colosseum, walk the sacred streets of Vatican City, and toss a coin into the Trevi Fountain for luck. Florence showcases the heights of Renaissance art and architecture with the extraordinary Duomo and galleries overflowing with masterworks. And Venice's maze of canals and marble palaces on the water channels, the glory days when it was Europe's richest city-state. Beyond the urban highlights, landscape lovers can explore picture-perfect coastlines dotted with pastel-hued villages along the Amalfi Coast and Cinque Terre, or soak up rolling hills, blanketed in grapevines and cypress trees in iconic Tuscany. Hikers can challenge themselves on the Cinque Terre's cliffside trails, while food and wine connoisseurs indulge in Chianti's velvety reds and Parmigiano Reggiano straight from the source. And we can't forget Italy's legendary food scene, from flaky, oven-fired Neapolitan pizza to plates of pasta, handmade that day, to decadent tiramisu and espresso to die for. Prepare your taste buds for a party. Just don't forget to save room for gelato. With so much history, art, culinary delights, and jaw-dropping scenery packed into one country, Italy delivers an unforgettable and quintessentially European experience. Number 2. Spain. From quaint medieval towns to dazzling beaches to thrilling nightlife, Spain packs huge variety into one sun-drenched country. The country's cosmopolitan cities are bursting with culture, none more so than Barcelona. Along tree-lined boulevards, sample some of Europe's boldest architecture from eccentric Antoni Gaudí. The still unfinished Sagrada Familia Church is a visual wonder with its towering spires and colourful mosaic facade. Equally radiant is Park Güell, dotted with gingerbread house structures and mosaic salamanders. Of course, there's also Barcelona's irresistible beaches, antiques-filled Gothic quarter, and the electric energy of Las Ramblas promenade. Then you have Madrid with the show-stopping Prado Museum, overflowing with artistic masterpieces, and the Royal Palace gleaming within manicured gardens. And don't miss out on Seville's picture postcard Alcázar Palace complex, Granada's Palace Fortress Alhambra, and so many other historical gems. Beyond the cities, Spain has over 1,800 miles of wildly diverse coastline to explore. Think palm-lined Costa del Sol, volcanic cliffs on the Canary Islands, or the turquoise waters of the Balearics. The natural beauty continues inland too, with a patchwork of ancient forests blanketing the mountains of Asturias, or adventure seekers' playgrounds like Pyrenees National Park, tucked up against the French border. And tying it all together is Spain's joy for life. From the beat of flamenco dancing to riotous tomato throwing festivals to buzzy tapas bars hopping late into the night. With so many vibrant cities, dazzling landscapes, captivating history and cultural passion, Spain delivers world-class experiences. Number 3. France. With icons like the Eiffel Tower, French cuisine that sets global standards, and breathtaking scenery from Norman countryside to Riviera beaches, France has secured its spot as one of the world's most popular destinations. Of course, no trip to France is complete without exploring famed Paris. Beyond snapshots with the towering Eiffel Tower, lose yourself in the Louvre's treasure trove of art and people watch from bustling cafes lining postcard-perfect streets. When you've had your fill of croissants and Monet's water lilies, head south to the glittering Côte d'Azur. There, coastal gems like Nice, Cannes and Saint-Tropez beckon with turquoise waters, lush gardens, Belle Époque architecture, and a see-and-be-seen glamour. Or escape to the pastoral countryside blanketed in vineyards, where you can tour stately chateaux and discover charming medieval villages practically groaning under loads of history. The Loire Valley presents fairy tale castles, straight from Renaissance courts, and boasts France's longest river for lazy afternoon cruises. Further north, Normandy and Brittany lure visitors to sublime islands like charming Mont Saint-Michel rising from the tides, the D-Day landing beaches and pirate-era port towns. And we can't forget French cuisine, from buttery croissants to melt-in-your-mouth beef bourguignon to pungent cheeses bursting with flavour. France is a food lover's paradise. Pair all that deliciousness with renowned wines, like those from Burgundy and Bordeaux, and you have a match made in heaven. With so much diversity across landscapes, architecture, culture and cuisine, France guarantees experiences. Number 4. Greece. With ancient temples perched dramatically on cliff tops, sun-soaked islands wrapped in whitewashed villages, and Mediterranean cuisine that sings with flavour, Greece brilliantly mingles mythic history with picture-perfect paradise. Start by exploring history-steeped Athens, where iconic Acropolis rises majestically over the sprawling metropolis. Climb its marbled steps to the Parthenon, glimpsing modern Athens down below and imaginating the temple's former glory as the centre of ancient Greece. Nearby, pace the well-worn stone pathways of the Agora in the footsteps of Socrates and Plato. Then, island hop across the azure Aegean Sea to some of the Mediterranean's hottest beach destinations. Santorini is the Greek Isles showstopper, where you can ooh and ah over sunsets, lighting up blue-domed churches and vine-laden stone homes clinging dramatically to volcanic cliffs. Less touristy but equally gorgeous islands like Naxos and Paros mix Venetian and Byzantine influences with sugar cube villages and beach clubs to dance the night away. Or head to Mykonos to join the see-and-be-seen party crowd thronging its Little Venice waterfront and iconic windmills. Wherever you go, prepare for fresh Greek salads, grilled octopus, yogurt-rich tzatziki sauce, and even better fiery ouzo to fuel those late summer nights. From the lost civilizations of mythical Atlantis to idyllic island getaways, Greece pulls you in with its rich culture and irresistible Mediterranean lifestyle. Number 5. United Kingdom. From the soaring peaks of the Scottish Highlands to the misty hills of Wales, Britain packs in incredible diversity across its regions. Start in colourful England, exploring majestic castles and cathedrals, literary sites from Shakespeare to Harry Potter, and iconic landmarks like Big Ben towering over the River Thames. Get lost in London's vibrant neighbourhoods and world-class museums. Live it up in Manchester's warehouse music scene, or walk the ancient stone walls of York straight out of medieval tales. Then venture north to Scotland, where fairy tale Edinburgh Castle crowns volcanic ridges and bagpipers fuel lively nightlife with Celtic beats. Outdoor enthusiasts find nirvana exploring the wilds of the Highlands, from hiking Ben Nevis Peak to tracing the snaking paths of Glencoe Valley, and posing for pictures at dramatic castles like Eilean Donan, rising from the mists. Over in Northern Ireland, discover the geologic spectacle of the Giant's Causeways interlocking basalt columns lining the coast, and uncover history in medieval Derry and Belfast, where the Titanic was fatefully constructed. And mountainous Wales thrills with zip-lining and underground trampolines carved into abandoned slate mines, along with sheep-dotted valleys, ancient castles like Conwy, and charming Victorian-era seaside towns. From dramatic natural wonders to powerhouse cultural cities, Britain keeps visitors dazzled with its vibrant diversity, all in one small island. Number 6. Ireland, the Emerald Isle itself, magical island. From its legendary warm welcomes and captivating Celtic culture to the mystic medieval sites and dramatic coastal scenery, Ireland casts an enchanting spell. Dublin kicks things off with Trinity College's ancient halls, temples serving up Guinness by the pintful and rowdy traditional music flowing late into the night at Cobblestone Temple Bar. Down south, wander historic churches converted to trendy pubs in Kilkenny, kiss the Blarney Stone for good luck, or get blown away gazing out from the breathtaking cliffs of Moher. On the west coast, wild Connemara National Park thrills with mist-shrouded peaks, pony trekking across windswept boglands and relics from monastic settlements dating to the 6th century. Nearby, Galway charms with boho boutiques lined up along the Corrib River and passages tunneled under colourful medieval facades, plus a legendary art scene. Up north, Belfast surprises with a dynamic food scene shaking off its troubled past, along with attractions like the refurbished Victorian shipyards where the RMS Titanic was tragically built. And Giant's Causeway on the dramatic Antrim coast never fails to impress with its alien-looking landscapes of interlocking volcanic stone columns. Ireland's postcard-worthy surroundings tumbling to the sea, non-stop festivals fueling legendary Celtic cheer, and locals whose warmth enhances every visit make this friendly isle an unbeatable European destination. Number 7. Germany. Beyond its economic dominance, Germany seduces visitors with a magical quilt of dense forests, romantic castles, and half-timbered villages lifted from the pages of Grimm's fairy tales. Kick things off in fast-paced Berlin to discover moving historical sites, trend-setting nightlife, and cutting-edge art exhibits built atop layers of vibrant subcultures. Then, contrast with medieval charmers like Rothenburg ob der Tauber in Bavaria, where cobblestone lanes twist below old ramparts and towers offering panoramic valley views. Cruise through the storybook, Rhine Gorge dotted with crumbling castles, crowning forested hilltops straight out of Sleeping Beauty. Downstream, sample sweet white wines in riverside towns before reaching maritime Hamburg and cosmopolitan Frankfurt, both pulsing with urban energy. Over in artistic Dresden, Baroque architecture reconstructed after World War II, bombings graces a metropolis buzzing with students and classical concerts, and everywhere you'll find welcoming beer gardens, old-world cafes, and the yummy strudels, bratwurst and pretzels that pair perfectly with excellent German brews. With alpine vistas, historic relics, and cultural gems galore, Germany takes you on a glorious journey through the old and the new. Number 8. Switzerland. As the epic backdrop to Heidi and the Sound of Music, Switzerland woos visitors with legendary natural beauty. Majestic mountain panoramas pop up everywhere, from the iconic Matterhorn's frosted tip to the thundering Rheinfall cascades raining over wooded bluffs. Crowd-pleasing attractions like Chillon Castle, rising dramatically from Lake Geneva's waters, and scenic train rides scaling the inspiring peaks of Jungfrau and Pilatus deliver serious wow factor. And even its charming cities and villages impressed, from Bern's 15th century arcades and fountains to storybook Appenzel's whimsically painted chalets. But Switzerland is more than just peak put on postcards, it's also a culture of fine living. Indulge in velvety chocolate, creamy cheeses, and decadent pastries between adventures hiking the high-altitude passes, paragliding over Interlaken or skiing world-class resorts like St. Moritz and Zermatt. And for time travel thrills, uncover medieval old towns like fairy tale Lucerne and lakeside Geneva, protecting historic relics from their Renaissance heydays. With alpine spectacle, meeting urban sophistication and over-the-top cuisine here too, Switzerland rolls out one heart-skipping, gorgeous view after another. But you'll soon see its beauty runs way deeper than its surface. Number 9. Croatia. With balmy beaches, glittering seaside towns, and over 1,000 islands dotting its Adriatic coast, Croatia packs loads Mediterranean allure into easy-to-navigate packages perfect for exploring. Dazzling Dubrovnik tops many travelers' lists, where pedestrian-only stone walls encircle Old Town's terracotta rooftops and palaces turned boutique hotels. Its reconstructed beauty, combined with the sparkling waters of the Dalmatian coast, create dreamy views around every corner. Speaking of, island hopping by ferry unveils mountainous Korčula's tiny medieval squares, happening nightlife pulsating in Var town, and Brač's famous Zlatni Rat beach, gracefully extending like a golden spear. Inland reveals even more startling scenery at beloved Plitvice Lakes National Park, where crystal blue pools cascade over limestone terraces lined with forest green. Beyond are fantastic cities like Arti Rijeka, sporting Habsburg facades, and Zagreb, blending quirky neighborhoods filled with outdoor cafes and diverse museums, with a charming old quarter crowned by soaring neo-Gothic spires. With so much cultural variety, easy island access, and jaw-dropping nature all in a compact region, Croatia packs unbelievable value. And with more opening up beyond Dubrovnik lately, its many treasures feel like Europe's best-kept secret. Number 10. Portugal, with vibrant cities, captivating history, gorgeous coastlines, and a nostalgic charm all its own, Portugal dazzles travelers with diversity. Kick things off in lively Lisbon, where yellow trams climb past colorful houses, blanketing hillsides overlooking the Rio Tejo. Feel the soul of nostalgic fado music and trace the age of exploration glories at Belém Tower and the storied Jerónimos Monastery. Then catch some coastal bliss down south, luxuriating on Algarve's spectacular beaches and soaking up picture-perfect charm in villages like Carvoeiro. Up north, Porto enchants with pretty plazas, lined with outdoor cafes and 18th century houses, dripping azulejo tiles. From here, explore the vines producing Porto's namesake wines in the rolling Douro Valley, followed by feasting on fresh seafood, strolling the sticky lanes of medieval Óbidos. And adventure seekers can't miss Portugal's natural playgrounds, from surfing killer breaks along the Atlantic coast to roaming craggy cliffs and seabird colonies in archipelago of the Azores. With so much history and beauty tucked into this unassuming corner of Europe, Portugal guarantees epic discoveries that will stick with you long after. Number 11. Netherlands. The Netherlands, a waterworld wonderland offering visitors scenic canal cruises, dazzling tulip displays, and cycling adventures through storybook countrysides. Amsterdam stars with its atmospheric jumble of gabled mansions, tilting picturesquely along tree-lined canals. When you've had your fill of the city's treasure-packed museums showcasing Dutch Golden Age masterpieces, escape to sleepy fishing villages of Marken and Volendam, where time seems to stand still. Nearby, iconic windmills spin over bright green polders flecked with herds of sheep and cows, setting irresistibly charming scenes. Then comes spring. Catch waves of colour rippling across fields, blooming with millions of tulips, hyacinths and daffodils, celebrating the country's legendary flower fascination. Pedaling from town to town or cruising past floating flower markets and under charming arched bridges, the bicycling culture here adds to quintessential Dutch experiences. And everywhere, seafood restaurants and cozy brown cafes overflow with genial cheer matching the comforting scenery. With so much stunning natural beauty threaded between vibrant urban pockets, the Netherlands promises fairy tale wanderings sure to inspire childlike awe. Number 12. Iceland. Though its name might summon images of frosty tundras, Iceland burns bright with geothermal spectacle. Located just south of the Arctic Circle, unique landscapes forged from violent seismic shifts, volcanic eruptions, and massive glaciers astound. Must-see attractions include the Golden Circle, showcasing Stråkur's erupting geysers, the surreal Rift Valley of Thingvellir National Park, and roaring Gullfoss waterfalls tumbling down mossy cliffs into a misty gorge. Down south, luxuriate in the thermal healing waters of the Blue Lagoon's steaming turquoise pools, or challenge your tongue with hackle, rotten Greenland shark meat. But Iceland's wonders blaze around the clock. When night falls, the dancing northern lights ignite, turning inky skies electric. The capital Reykjavik adds its own magic with a vibrant music and art scene. Scenes straight from Lord of the Rings filming locations just outside town, and crazy late August celebrations for the ebony sands of Reynisfjara Beach under the midnight sun. With such an alien landscape, carved by extreme forces of nature and mythical aura, Iceland lives up to its world-away mystique. Just be prepared to fall under its spell. Number 13. Norway, the land where fjords slice glacial fingers deep into cragged coastlines. The midnight sun kisses wavering peaks during summer's endless days, and the dancing northern lights ignite starry skies with mind-bending colour. But Norway offers plenty of eye-popping scenery to explore by day too. Base yourself in vibrant capital Oslo, surrounded by forests, perfect for skiing, come winter, and island-speckled waters, beckoning boats in summer. Or check out colourful wooden warehouses along Bergen's historic harbour front, keeping watch over the majestic Sognefjord since the 12th century. Further north, Tromsø thrills as the Arctic gateway, with sleek museums and summer festivals, celebrating the season's eternal light. And who could forget Norway's iconic fjords? Nærøyfjord, Geirangerfjord, and Lysefjord captivate with sheer granite walls, gushing waterfalls and tiny farms dotting the mountains surrounding their mirror-like waters. Whether chasing northern lights mirages across the tundra or summiting Mount Floyen's heathered trails, Norway casts an irresistible spell. Some may call it expensive, but with this scenery is considered spectacular. Number 14. Austria, a refined Alpine wonderland, beckoning nature lovers, culture vultures, and creatives alike. Cosmopolitan Vienna dazzles with its monumental Hofburg Palace, the towering Gothic steeple of St. Stephen's, and museums brimming with old masters like Klimt and Schiele. Its regal cafes overflow with the sounds of Mozart and Strauss, while underground wine taverns rock to experimental beats late into the night. Beyond Vienna, Salzburg enchants as backdrops for the sound of music come alive throughout its Baroque Altstadt and the Lake District spilling across its outskirts. In the snow-laced Alps, Innsbruck impresses with ski jumping facilities and Olympic arenas framed by the frosty Nordkette range. And spa towns like Baden-Baden beckon aristocratic elegance across manicured gardens and gilt interiors. But Austria's timber-framed Alpine villages crowning velvety green valleys steal the show. There, dirndl-clad locals serve hearty schnitzel and apfelstrudel before yodeling and slap dancing to accordions pumping oompa music. With so much stunning scenery, age-old traditions and cultural gems, Austria brings fairy tales to life. Number 15. Sweden. Sweden, where design-forward thinking meets nature's rugged beauty from Stockholm's archipelago to the Arctic wilds of Lapland. Start off exploring capital Stockholm, built across 14 interconnected islands, with wildly varied neighbourhoods stitched together by quaint bridges. Gamla Stan's cobblestone squares show off one of Europe's largest and best preserved medieval city centres, while funky cafes, shops and bars overflowing with Nordic charm in Vasastan and hipster enclave Södermalm. Further north, university cities like Uppsala and Lund blend harmoniously with the Swedish countryside, where far-flung forests open up to reveal shimmering lakes. Stop to enjoy a traditional fika coffee break with cinnamon buns in colourful wooden cottages, or try your hand at winter sports carved into the snowy mountains. As the Arctic Circle unfurls even more remote terrain, encounter the indigenous Sami culture thriving across Lapland's sled dog outposts and reindeer farms, catch the electric northern lights flickering across the winter skies, and unwind in the wood-fired saunas of Ice Hotel, a dreamy snow castle that rebuilds every winter. With Jantelagen humility masking quietly cool confidence, Sweden delivers inspired design, sustainable thinking, and natural wonder in perfect harmony from north to south. Number 16, Czech Republic, Central Europe's diamond in the rough. While often overshadowed by flashier neighbours, the Czech Republic wows visitors with a bounty of astonishing sights for a fraction of the cost. The euphoric capital of Prague rightfully grabs the limelight with Cardinal's red rooftops, fluttering over 14th century turrets, cathedrals and stone bridges spanning the Vltava's moody waters. Here, classic beer halls, indie music clubs and eccentric cubist cafes orbit old town squares show-stopping medieval astronomical clock. Beyond, extravagant castles and palaces according to the epic tales of nobles past with silver halls, glittering from Moravia's fertile wine country to Bohemian mountain spa towns like Karlovy Vary and Mariánské Lázně. In Český Krumlov, riverside pubs and copper dome theatres colour an impossibly charming town tucked behind crooked lanes. Friendly locals, raucous cultural festivals like Masopust Carnival, hearty comfort foods, and what may be the world's best beer scene round out the surprises. Hop-scented hillsides roll across the Bohemian countryside, passing storybook farm cottages and welcoming taverns where crisp, aromatic pilsners flow freely. Affable, creative, and drop-dead gorgeous, the Czech Republic is Europe's best bargain destination through and through. Number 17. Montenegro. Montenegro, fast emerging as the shining star of the Adriatic. As its mighty mountains cascade to aquamarine waters, fringing idyllic towns and seldom-seen islands, Montenegro lures with incredible diversity packed into a tiny country. Walled Kotor steals attention first as Ottoman and Venetian influences collide along lively marbled lanes, showing off Romanesque cathedrals and Renaissance architecture. Nearby Perast floats Baroque villas straight out of a painting, while lively Budva riffs on a Saint-Tropez vibe with its sandy beaches and buzzy nightlife. Inland, Durmitor National Park presents over 18 glacial lakes, reflecting jagged grey peaks piercing Montenegro's imposing northern massif. Here, rafting, hiking, and mountain biking adventures abound on routes once plied by traders, crusaders, and bandits through the ages. Down south, Skadar Lake offers tranquility and abundant wildlife. And that's just the beginning. With wild stretches of Adriatic coast far from the tourist hordes, winemaking valleys left over from Roman settlers, and remoteness lingering from its turbulent past, Montenegro promises some of Europe's last undiscovered terrain wide open for trailblazing. The journey through time is the real reward. Number 18, Belgium, a culturally diverse Epicurean's paradise hiding in plain sight between France and Germany. Though often passed through en route to other European capitals, Belgium seduces visitors with irresistible food, artistic masterpieces, and fairy tale scenery from Flanders fields to Albrecht Dürer-esque towns. Elegant Brussels blooms as the country's culture hub with world-class museums like the Magritte Museum showcasing Belgium's surrealist pioneer, and Regal Fine Arts Museum glowing with works by Bruegel and Rubens. Grab waffles smothered in chocolate or sip Trappist monk-crafted beers in the shadow of its intricate Grand Place, considered Europe's most beautiful central square. Nearby, Bruges floats through a dreamy time warp, with bridges arching over swan-filled canals, reflecting lacy Gothic facades painted by both Van Eyck and Instagrammers today. In Ghent, delve into the experimental haunted castle of Count Hoensbreck, or savour hearty Flemish stews, tempting pralines, and over 500 Belgian beers. Beyond, rolling hills crisscrossed by hedgerows erupt in vibrant bluebell forests just waiting to be discovered. Friendly smiles, culinary delights, and fairy tale landscapes, plucky little Belgium is full of giant surprises. Number 19. Poland. Poland, an up-and-coming destination rapidly shaking off its gloomy past to emerge as Eastern Europe's rising star. Byzantine bells resound as historic Krakow reveals soaring Gothic pillars, regal palaces, and the largest medieval square in Europe, orbiting cloth halls cheating Sukianise towers. Nearby, Schindler's factory immerses visitors into World War II's tragic reality. Up north, Warsaw's meticulously reconstructed Old Town captivates with vibrant street-side cafes, hip boutiques, and neon-lit rooftop bars pulsing till dawn. Exploring its mammoth royal palaces and communist-era architecture by day, the sprawling capital surprises at every turn. Out west, Roquefort charms as a rainbow of pastel facades reflect off sleepy canals recalling its Prussian past. Piercing the heartland's amber waves of grain, the glaciated Tatra Mountains erupt in craggy granite peaks, drawing skiers and snowboarders to lively Zakopane. Poland's Baltic coast surprises too, from historic Gdańsk shipyards to Wild Hell Peninsula's endless dunes. Poland rewards cultural explorers, foodies, and nature lovers with shocking diversity tucked into an upstart land promising the new soul of Europe. So get it while it's hot! Number 20. Denmark, from the cutting-edge design scene energizing Copenhagen to storybook coastal villages and the toy kingdom headquarters of Lego itself, Denmark delights with Scandinavian style and hydra-headed history. Kick things off in kinetic Copenhagen to discover the iconic Little Mermaid statue overlooking the harbour, avant-garde art spaces built from converted shipyard cranes, and Tivoli Gardens fairy tale confections twinkling after dark. Nearby hipsterized Christiania thrives as an artistic eco-village flourishing off the grid. Further out, resplendent Renaissance castles capture centuries of battles and betrayals, from opulent Frederiksborg Slot to moated Kronborg, asserting Denmark's might over the narrow straits still linking Sweden to the Baltic Sea. Hamlet connections and secret passages intrigue. For more village charm, storybook thatch-roofed cottages cluster along sleepy Funen Island, dotted with Hans Christian Andersen connections. Or explore bigger Zealand Island next door, where Viking ships and medieval treasures enthrall at Roskilde Museum. Out west, history comes to life at the actual Legoland. Effortlessly blending heritage and innovation with hygge coziness, Denmark delivers smoother Scandi cool with enduring creative edge and flair. Number 21. Hungary, a culture simmering with old-world charm and resurgent creativity. The mighty Danube slices Budapest in two, revealing Buda's historic hills crowned with medieval towers and carved-out cave bars, while Pest's restless boulevards and Jewish quarter pulse with ruin pubs, hidden baths, and eclectic nightlife. Beyond the capital, spiderweb-like Lake Balaton promises gentle pleasures, like strolling gorgeously preserved Baroque castelli and vino-fueled afternoons among the vineyards of palatable Villani and Eger wine regions. In the Hungarian countryside, 40-plus thermal spa towns steam, some since Roman times, with aquamarine pools and ornate tiled thermal baths offering open-air soaking amid rococo domes and colonnades. And Hungary keeps its vibrant cultural secrets well too. Across the haunting plains, exotic horseman traditions live on as riding shows, storm Lake Hortobágy's National Park. Shepherding traditions abide too at unhurried farmsteads, producing delicious cream-wrapped cheeses and smoking meats. Habsburg palaces, Art Nouveau cafes, and 3-day Busoharas carnival celebrations reveal additional Hungarian surprises. It's the perfect European mashup still bordered by mystery. Number 22. Slovenia, an offbeat European diamond sandwiched between Italy and Croatia's Adriatic wonders. Though overshadowed by its popular neighbours, Slovenia captivates with majestic peaks, a delightful capital in Ljubljana and a minuscule 47 kilometers of sun-splashed Adriatic coast known as the Slovenian Riviera. Cobblestoned Ljubljana charms along willow-lined canals, reflecting salmon-hued townhouses in shades, matching its Baroque facades. Crowned by a hilltop castle, this youthful university hub balances quirky creativity with chilling in riverside cafes as accordionists jam out polkas. Nearby, Lake Bled wows with a church perched photogenically on its island and imposing peaks looming behind. Just off the waters, the showy Savoca waterfall tumbles into a gorgeous pool, perfect for wild swimming. Even more bucket list fodder awaits down in the karst region's caves and at Piran's rustic Mediterranean ports on azure Slovenian seas near Italy. With compact geographic diversity but less tourists, Slovenia rolls out stunning window views around every turn. So get it while you can and fall for Slovenia. It's love at first sight guaranteed. Number 23. Finland, where sky and water meet edgeless forests under the simmering glow of the midnight sun and fanciful northern lights. Though often overlooked, Finland's design-forward thinking capital, Helsinki, intrigues with stirring urban islands, shipyard-turned culture hub, Kapellitehdas, and fueled nightlife, pulsing till dawn each summer. Beyond its lively capital, the land of lakes works its magic. Over 188,000 islands dot Finland's tranquil inland waters, begging to be explored by boat in summer and skates when frozen solid under the winter constellations. Even Santa chooses Finnish Lapland as his official home, where husky safaris, reindeer sleighs, and icebreaker cruises unveil the Arctic region's primitive allure from Rovaniemi onward. Finland's cavity-free children prove swimming through pure lake waters brings health benefits too. Back on land, pairs of pantsless Finns raising steam in the national obsession of Vita's birch branch saunas, bringing intoxicating aromatic heat, never looked so good. With Nordic mystique and endless horizons galore, the call of the Finnish wild offers raw magic. Number 24. Malta, a southern European jewel encrusted with rich relics spanning 7,000 years of Mediterranean history. As one of the European Union's smallest countries, it packs mega rewards into its trio of tiny islands lying south of Sicily. Start uncovering World Heritage riches in the fortress capital Valletta, where grand Baroque churches, palaces, and forts fuse the artistic inheritance of multiple conquerors, from Phoenician and Roman temples to Arab domes, Norman cathedrals, and British neoclassical buildings. Wander the narrow streets of this 16th century city, built by knights, to admire the honey-coloured sandstone architecture and intricate stone balconies, much of it barely changed since Valletta's heyday. Nearby Medina flickers alluringly at dusk with illuminated bastion walls, guarding noble townhouses whispering Game of Thrones film set comparisons, while citrus-scented gardens burst with romantic fountains within the silent medieval citadel. Roman villa remains evoke lives of officials ruling Melita millennia ago. With a staggering 300-plus sunny days per year, Malta's islands beckon beach lovers too. Golden sand Mediterranean lidos give way to grottos, concealing sapphire swimming holes across Gozo and Comino islands, themselves admitting ancient ruts from carts in bygone eras. Divers prize underwater caves, Phoenician shipwrecks, and bountiful sea life explored easily from Malta's shores that still replicate idyllic scenes of antiquity. When the sun sets, lively nightlife kicks in across Paceville's pumping clubs to craft breweries distilling local favourites, Sisk and Hopleaf. Boasting one of the highest densities of historic monuments on the planet, fused with dramatic seascapes, tiny Malta bears the hallmarks of magnitude. Its 7,000 years of history are unveiled in layers. Come explore. Number 25. Estonia, the feisty Nordic tech trailblazer, renowned as much for medieval charm as digital innovation. Beyond zippy startups energizing capital Tallinn today are relics evoking its long history as a trade crossroads, from stern city walls and echoes of Soviet occupation to the 800-year-old atmospheric old town. Wandering along stone battlements and twisting cobblestone lanes reveals Gothic spires, gabled merchants' houses and cafes, thriving around picturesque main squares since medieval Hanseatic League days. Across town, glimpse early 20th century history at Grand Art Nouveau quarters before diving into Estonia's digitally driven future across converted warehouses, now pulsating as uber-modern culture factories. Venturing out from Tallinn unveils more magic, singing festivals and pagan midsummer celebrations linked to Estonia's fill of national pride and nature worship. Crisscrossing its woodlands and over 2,000 islands, swinging through rapids on bog shoes or biking squirrel trails, reveals the whispering spirits and dark folkloric roots still shaping this innovative land. With one boot firmly planted in the future, while the other kicks up forgotten stories of the past, plucky Estonia fascinates those looking beyond Europe's usual tourist trails. Its gritty charm and creative edge evoke the playful dreamer successfully dancing to their own tune, an inspiration to us all.